coming.
I'd buy that for $1. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, peep this out. It's your boy Ian K with a breakdown and review of Hollywood's latest reimagining of a classic 80s franchise. You all know what I'm talking about. You see it behind me right now. Robocop from 1987 has been reimagined, rebooted for 2014, starring Joel Kinnaman stepping into the iconic shoes of Peter Weller from that film back in the day. Director Paul Verhoeven, his version of that film back in 1987 definitely set the bar for ultra-violence, political satire, more on a social scale. Crazy action, crazy violence, and at the heart of it was the soul of a man trapped in a machine trying to find out who he was, definitely there. So really an amazing story there and a great action adventure film. The new version, very solid, I can tell you right now. You owe it to yourself to watch this original film before you go see the new one, if only to appreciate the differences between the two. Let me just tell you right now, amazing action once it gets started there, but I can tell you they spend a lot of time really getting to know Alex James Murphy. Joel Kinnaman steps into the role and definitely makes it his own. This is definitely the Robocop for the new age, an amazing film and an accomplishment in its own right, only because of the political slant that it takes on today's headlines compared to the original version of it being more social. It's got shades of that throughout this film, but this primarily really focuses on the broader picture, government's intervention on certain things as well, and obviously the corruption and all the stuff that goes with all big corporations and all the shadiness that goes on. In terms of keeping things from the public and only showing the public what it is that they need to see, things of that nature. Samuel L. Jackson adds a very nice bit of flair in terms of the overall, I wouldn't say comedic factor, but there are some things that he does that are pretty funny in this in terms of his monologues overall there, but he is the host of the Novak element. This segment is peppered throughout the film. Basically, it's the voice of the media to the people talking about everything that's going on in the state of America regarding the Robocop program, so to speak. Very well done, I can tell you. Samuel L. Jackson, you already know his voice, you know his demeanor, you know the way he portrays that ferociousness on screen. There are a few monologue scenes that he has talking to the camera that are really, really entertaining, and of course some classic lines that you'll hear towards the end that it was always great to see, even if they were kind of bleeped, so to speak there. I don't want to ruin it for you. Gary Oldman does an amazing job as the scientist tasked to bring the program to life by putting a live human being inside of a machine. Done very, very well. Amazing acting job from him as well. Michael Keaton as the head of Omnicorp. Parent company OCP is only mentioned briefly there, so we'll see what happens if they make another one. I'm hoping that they do. He does an admirable job as the head of that organization, trying to take over and see what they can do in terms of getting these robots on the street, lifting the ban of a certain legislation law that's prohibiting robots from being used as they are around the world. The story takes a very political slant compared to the original one being more of a social inner city type of confliction between the Detroit Police Department and the streets that Robocop is tasked to clean up. That's all very well in here, but there's definitely an international flavor. It definitely opens up showing you the international flair of OCP's Omnicorp distributing robots all around the world to kind of patrol, keep the peace, but we cannot use these robots here in the States according to a law that prohibits that there. So there's a whole storyline in terms of them trying to really lift the ban and get Robocop onto the streets, but when it finally happens, it is definitely on point, and of course there's a lot of backstabbing, things that go on. You know, with these movies, it's all about the action and the story that kind of move it along. But let's just say corruption is rampant everywhere. It is a very well done story set piece, and it really sets the tone for the film. Very nice beginning. There's a lot of action definitely there. Now, I'm a fan of crazy action films, you guys all know. A lot of people love to kid Michael Bay with all of his quick jump edits, quick cuts, things like that throughout his action films there. This film is not quite as bad, but I can tell you right now there are a lot of sequences when the action gets going where you want to make sure you keep your eyes wide. There's a lot of content, a lot of shaky cam. The action is visceral. It is definitely on point in terms of just the overall adrenaline factor. And I can tell you right now, just the reimagining of the character, more up to date with today's technology, off the chain in terms of special effects. If there was any franchise that deserved a video game reboot, this is definitely going to be it when you see the action that goes down in this. There's some amazing set pieces. The trailer obviously shows some glimpses of it there, but there are some really enhanced combat sequences in this film which are very well put together, very glamorized, very stylized for Hollywood. You all know it's about that, but entertaining to watch, of course. Now, one of the villains in this film is definitely no Clarence Boddicker from the original Robocop. A little one-dimensional in this film, but overall the connection to the overall story is pretty well done, and obviously everything is all intertwined. But very, very nicely done there as well. And of course, Ed 209 back in full force, definitely enhanced, updated for the new age. Has a role in this film as well. I wouldn't say it's a very big role. It's fun to watch these characters do what they needed to do and watch these robots obviously blow things away and stuff like that too there, but it's definitely different. This being a PG-13 film, it's definitely toned down in terms of violence for that there. There's a lot of gunplay, there's a lot of things going on, but it is not too crazy compared to the R-rated original. It is missing some of that edge, but overall, a very, very solid story. But again, it is all about the human aspect. They spend a lot of time really focusing on the characterization of Alex Murphy in this one there, his overall struggle being in the suit, and really trying to move on. And when you see how traumatic things get for him throughout the film, you can really feel for the character. It definitely adds another layer, another step compared to the original one, and I definitely appreciated it very much. So on that bomb sexy scale of 1 to 10, how sexy for your eyeballs is this latest reimagining from Hollywood of a classic 80s franchise? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, get right to it there. This is a straight out 8 out of 10. A very admirable job. It is just different enough to really make a difference to the character. Even if they spend a lot of time on that characterization of Alex Murphy, it is definitely needed throughout the film. I didn't think it was too long for that, but you really feel for the emotion of his character, as well as his wife and his son, which they only touched upon in the original film back in 1987 to some degree. This is taken to a whole new level, and it really elevates the film. And like I said, when the action gets going, it's visceral, it's non-stop, it is definitely glamorized. And of course, the reimagining of the Ed 209 robots, they have a minor role in this film. Not exactly one of the main things there, but overall they are very well done in terms of the combat sequences. I would love to see a sequel to this movie. I hope it does well enough to warrant it. I think it's going to. Love the editing job, love the action sequences, absolutely love the overall pace of the film once the action got going there. Alright guys, it's about that time. It's time to drop those comments down below, and I gotta ask you, did you guys see the new Robocop reboot? Would you buy that for $1? Did you like it? Did you like it compared to the original? Did you watch the original before you saw this film? It definitely honors the source material as far as I'm concerned, but you tell me. Drop those comments down below and let me know. I'm very curious to know what you had to say. And guys, as always, please give this video a thumbs up. Please like, share, and subscribe to Peep This Out. You know, definitely share it with all the peeps that you know. There's a lot of great content, of course, and the channel always continues to grow. Every single day we're grabbing some new subscribers, and I hope you guys are definitely enjoying that content. So drop some comments down below. Even let me know too if you'd like to see anything in particular. Drop it down below. I definitely make it a point to try and get back to each and every one of you guys whenever you guys leave those comments. It's very important to keep in touch. You all know how we do it. And speaking of which, this has been your boy Ian K, doing it up here on Peep This Out. We will talk to you next time. Stay frosty.
Thank you for your cooperation.